Going to question 20 now. We always start with the prompt, and this particular prompt is telling us that it's a grammar question. So we're reading with an eye toward grammar. These researchers have determined why some soil-dwelling roundworms move in the opposite direction of the Earth's magnetic field when searching for food. In the northern hemisphere, the field points down into the ground, but in the southern hemisphere, it points up toward the surface and away from worms' food sources. So here, we'll kind of just tell you that the answer is going to be A, but let's emphasize the rules for special punctuation. For the semicolon, you use that for two independent clauses. For instance, John went to the mall. He bought shoes. An independent clause is something that can be its own sentence if you want it to. For the colon, the first part needs to be an independent clause, and the second part is anything that describes the first part. For instance, there was only one thing Scooby could do: run. Now, by the way, the second part is anything that describes the first part. So we could have said there was only one thing Scooby could do. He decided that he was going to run. So we could put an independent clause there, just like we could put something more incomplete. Last but not least, for the long dash, one long dash is a colon and two is a set of parentheses. So for instance, this is a colon situation and we'll put the long dash here. There was only one thing Scooby could do, dash, run. Or you could use it like a set of parentheses. Scooby, who had been in this situation many times before, decided to run. So those are the three rules for special punctuation, and you want to have them memorized verbatim according to these definitions that I just gave you. But this one here is a perfect colon situation because we have an independent clause here, something that totally could have been its own sentence. And then we have something describing why. And by the way, the blue part says researchers have determined why these roundworms are moving in the opposite direction. Well, why? Because in the northern hemisphere, the field points down, but in the southern hemisphere, it points up. And so you have literally an independent clause followed by something that's describing the first part, and that's why the answer here is the colon, answer choice A.